Hey everybody, I'm Hugh Brownstone for Three Blind Men and an Elephant, and I know it's been a while, but I've been doing a lot less talking and a lot more shooting, editing, and producing recently, which is pretty darned exciting. I do want to talk today about Sony's new 18 to 110mm f4 constant aperture, APS-C/Super 35 coverage only, autofocus image stabilized geared power zoom lens. A lens many might argue should have been the launch lens for the original FS7 and FS5, and yeah, I can go there, but really that's just water under the bridge. Instead, I'll just get to the point. If you were to have only one lens for your FS5, FS7, or FS7 II, this is it. End of story. That's because even though I'm personally a fast primes kind of guy, there are occasions, ENG, event, and documentary work, where an autofocus zoom lens becomes indispensable even at the expense of speed. There will be moments when you can't zoom with your feet, when there are too many unknowns, when the decisive moment, in fact, won't wait for a lens change or manual focus. Good thing that with a maximum aperture of f4, Sony sensors do so well at higher ISOs. It's also the case that documentary work and cinematic technique are merging like never before, and a really good manual focus override, including nicely weighted geared rings that seem to have been designed not only for 0.8mm follow focus units, but for those times when you don't have one and you'll have to rely on a twist with a free hand, is a compelling feature. The Sony delivers just such a manual override, the best I've seen in an autofocus zoom lens. It's very much like its older brother, the full-frame coverage 28 to 135. With native Sony autofocus, image stabilization, and the option of click or clickless aperture ring, along with a very decent focal range, you've got your bases pretty well covered. It even has hard stops for focus when you snap the focusing ring to manual. Woohoo! Then again, Sony already has an 18 to 105 f4 crop sensor image stabilized power zoom lens for $600, so why cough up the extra dough, almost 6 times the price, especially when you're still saddled with that relatively slow f4. As I've said myself, that particular lens gets the job done. Well, this is why, courtesy of Richard Mullen Coach Building, an extraordinary place where ground-up restorations are performed on incredible cars. There isn't a tool in there newer than 1945, all of which are used in service of craftsmanship and metal fabrication, the likes of which I've never seen. Let's take a look. lovely image quality, and beautiful bokeh given the inherent limitation of the maximum f4 aperture. Smooth focus pulls and zooms with nothing more than a hand twist. Little to no focus breathing. The ergonomics and handling are peerless for this kind of lens. Excellent build quality, including a really well-designed detachable lens hood with built-in protective shutter. Lens image stabilization that works really well, although the footage at Rick's was shot on a tripod. You can even compensate somewhat for the lens body combo's relatively deep depth of field wide open by using the long end of the glass and getting in close. Though, I do wish it were one stop faster and 2 millimeters wider. And I'd like that zoom rocker switch to be more controllable. Now, at $3,400 and 2.4 pounds for a single lens, the PZ18-110 f4G OSS is a lot of money and weight for someone used to spending and carrying a whole lot less, but that very same price point and size, coupled with its functionality and performance, along with a closer look at its real competition, allow it to offer a unique value proposition, especially compelling for one and two-man bands. You can spend, for example, as little as $2,300 for a pair of Sigma's still photography-based 18 to 35 and 50 to 100 millimeter 1.8s in EF mount with a Sigma MC11 converter. You'll get stellar image quality, excellent build quality, and a very fast constant maximum aperture, fastest I've seen in a zoom. You will forego image stabilization, geared rings, power zoom, lightweight. Geez, this combo tips the scales at more than 5 pounds. Compact dimensions, well-controlled focus breathing, the slightly longer top end of the Sony, the convenience of not having to change lenses, and the benefit of native mount autofocus. Because yes, there is a big difference in autofocus performance between adapted lenses and native mount lenses. I don't care what anyone else says. You just won't be able to count on it. With adapters, you can use them on other cameras, or if you'll have occasion to use a Canon Cinema EOS camera or the new Panasonic EVA1 with no adapter at all. And you can always add a speed booster for another $650, or start with that instead of the MC11, to get a full frame equivalent lower end of about 19 millimeters while reclaiming the depth of field that a full frame 1.8 can give you. But you may ask, why bother with adapters when the 18 to 35 is available in native E-mount? Well, it's a good question. In addition to the focal length and depth of field reclamation, the answer is that the photo version of 5100 is not available in Sony E-mount at all. At least I can't find it, so you'll have to use an adapter or speed booster for that one anyway. If it were me, I'd stick with EF mount lenses and use adapters and forget about autofocus in either case. But that may be a bridge too far for you. What else? Well, you can spend more than 3 times that amount, and more than twice as much as the Sony, $7,800, on the brilliant pair of native E-mount true parfocal geared cine lenses from Fujinon. If you're like me, you'll absolutely love the Fujinon Mk Series 18 to 55 and 50 to 135 T2.9s. They have what I can only describe as brilliant, effortless image quality, lightweight, smooth gearing, and excellent, relatively narrow barrel handling. At 135 millimeters, the pair has more top end than the Sony or Sigmas. Of course, you'll give up autofocus altogether, power zoom, image stabilization, and no electronic connections between glass and body, meaning they neither transmit EXIF data to nor can be controlled by the camera. And if you're ever in a crunch, it won't pull focus as smoothly by hand as the Sony. Finally, you can spend $8,500 for a pair of Sigma's Cine versions of the 18 to 35 and 50 to 100, both available in native E-mount at T2. These are massive, fast, beautifully weighted, geared, non-autofocus glass with the optical qualities of their photo brethren, meaning excellent image quality, but noticeable focus breathing, non-parfocal zooming, and of course, right, no autofocus and no image stabilization. At almost 9 freaking pounds. Now, I haven't tried the geared Cine lenses myself, so I can't say how they handle a hand twist. But if you're paying this kind of dough and don't mind this kind of weight, I'm betting this is not a defining issue for you. The bottom line is that Sony's new 18-110 f4 is a great lens. It inspired me to find ways to take advantage of it right here in my neighborhood. And if you got an extraordinary car in need of extraordinary frame or body restoration work, wow, have I got a place for you. Rick just happens to be a really nice guy too, by the way. But back to filmmaking and the bottom line. Right now, I'm neck deep in a documentary series, which may require me to shoot in Europe as well. If I had the budget to pick the most flexible, robust, light, complete, convenient, reliable sub-$10,000 camera lens combo to handle this once in a lifetime, no do-overs, who knows exactly what I'll need scenario, a Sony FS5 with the 18-110 would be at or near the top of my list, and that is that. Although, the GH5 with fast primes and transition focus is pretty amazing. And Sony's own $3,300 Z150 punches way above its weight class and has much greater reach. Come to think of it, I haven't tried Canon's new C200 or Panasonic's EVA1 with the Canon 18-80 T4 servo, although, to be fair, these last two, and really the FS5's nearest competitors, are significantly more expensive. While the price of the EVA1 hasn't yet been finalized, the Canon C200 is selling for $7,500 and the 18-80 T4 servo comes in at $5,225 for a total of about $12,725. Sure, there are noteworthy differences among them, some of which will work better for you than others. Still, that's a hefty premium, especially while there's a $1,000 mail-in rebate on the FS5, bringing its body-only price to $4,750. And with $34.99 for the lens, you're talking $8,250 or so, making the Canon combo 50% more precious and well outside the under 10 grand category. By the way, that rebate program expires at the end of this month, July 2017. Then again, you don't need the FS5 at all. I love the 18-110 even on the little A6300, which, of course, you knew this, right, is what I've been shooting this whole segment with the entire time. Anyway, if you like what you've seen here today, if it has informed, educated, and or entertained, please give a thumbs up, subscribe, contribute to the conversation below, and if you're so inclined, please consider using our affiliate links or even dropping us some coffee money via the PayPal link below. We thank you for it. For Three Blind Men and an Elephant, I'm Hugh Brownstone. See you next time.